And then from decide, it goes back to do. So the cycle continues. Do, reflect, conclude, decide. Now, it's a simple process. You just have to embed that into your daily processes, and you will be able to inculcate more learning in your team. And by doing that, you can grow your team bigger, better, and produce better results for you. So this is called learning by doing. Hi, this is KCC. I'm coming back again to talk about performance in a series called Managing Performance. In the earlier session, I talked about the learning cycle and how do we help people to learn faster and better so that we improve their performance. And we did say to you that very important part of learning is to help them to reflect on whatever job they have done or whatever work they have done. And we give you 3 questions. What went well? Can be done better? What did you learn? So this is question that you ask after the performance. After the performance in terms of putting learning, and so that every job, every work becomes a learning experience in itself. But before that, in our session that I've discussed, before you give a person a task to do or a job to do, it's very important for you to frame his mind and to ensure he focus on the job in itself. And in that, we ask 2 questions. The question we ask somebody in order for him to focus is, what is the purpose of this task? And number 2, how do we measure success in this task? Now, it could be question you ask, the 2 questions, for him to give you the answer, or maybe he don't know the answer, in which case you as the supervisor or manager has to address the purpose of that particular task or assignment, and also let him know how you measure success. So, I call this my 2+3 formula, followed by 1 more in a learning cycle. The first 2 is the question, what is the purpose of this particular assignment? And then, second question is, how would I measure success for this particular assignment? Then the person go and do the job. Be more focused and be more aware of how success is measured. Now in corporate world, we call it KPI. After the person has done a job or a task or assignment, then there are 3 questions to ask, which is, what went well? Have you done better? And what have you learned from this? That's the learning part. Once those answers comes out in the form of learning experiences and learning points, there's 1 more question to ensure that the learning becomes permanent. That is, what are you going to do differently about what you have learned? From a 3 question, you go to the final question, what would you have done differently in the future with what you have learned? So, this is the 2+3+1 sequence. 2 questions up front to ensure you get your performer to be focused and to understand how his performance will be measured. 3 questions to reinforce learning and to help the person be able to extract out of that work experience to become a learning experience. And the last question is to transfer that learning into future actions and future opportunities. So here's an example of the 2+3+1. So for example, you want somebody to go out there and be able to do a particular project. You want him to bring in some customers for a focus group meeting in order to get feedback from the customers. So you will explain the purpose of the exercise, why we are doing this exercise, why we are wanting customers to come in to give us feedback. And number 2, you could also put in what you think would be the measurement of success, you as the boss, as the supervisor. So it could be purpose of this exercise is to bring in customers to get feedback from them so that we can improve our system and our processes. Our success is if we can get 5 customers coming in the next 1 week and get something like at least 15 ideas from them that will be significant in improving our internal process and opportunities. So let's say they go out there and they do this task. And then when they come back with whatever results, then you ask them, so when you go out there and talk to customers to get them to come and give feedback, what went well? Okay, very good. Number 2, tell me what could have been done better. And number 3, what do you learn from this particular task they have done? So they will come out with their learning points. And of course, the final question is, if you're going to do this again, and how do we do it better? What would you do differently from what you have learned from this particular earlier assignment that you have done? So this is an example of how you would take the 2+3+1 in your organization. If you look at it, you realize this is a very simple process. It's like a coaching process to help develop your team members further and faster. Thank you. This is KCC with our Managing Performance series.